Okay, we are live. Hello and happy Tuesday, everyone. If you are tuning in, please let me know you're here. Give me a hello. So, first of all, thank you everyone for being part of this community. It means so much to me, and that I know we've got a lot of new members. So, hello and welcome. I'm stoked you're here, and I look forward to getting to know everyone. That's when you come into the group. Just introduce yourself. Let me know you're here, where you're from, and we'll get going. Okay, so hello, girls. Hello. So today's topic, I'm going to dive right in, is the universe wants to express in and through you. And it's in the form of money as well. A lot of people go, yeah, but not money. Money's over there. We've got judgment around that. But no, money too. So the universe wants to express in and through you, even in the form of money. Money's not, it's not good, it's not bad, it just is. And it's whatever meaning we have given it. So I think some of you saw the quote I put in the group a couple days ago. And it was around, if you don't have a conscious desire, your unconscious desire to keep you safe will run the show. So it's any form of safety, right? To keep you in the same place, to be buying into what we've been programmed, to let our beliefs run the show, to keep us in, maybe a lack mindset, whatever that unconscious desire to keep you safe is. So that's where it's so important to have a conscious desire so it can run the show. So I'm going to be talking about how to reprogram the subconscious. So if you're just joining us, we're talking about how the universe wants to express in and through you, even in the form of money. So we're going to obviously be talking about some blind spots. We got a lot of blind spots around money. So yay, thank you for joining us, you guys. So here's the process. Universe, God, spirit, universal intelligence, source, everyone's got their own essence is another word, but everyone's got their own verbiage and energy around that. You can be calling it energy, whatever it is. God, spirit, creator, universal intelligence wants to express in and through us. But what it's going to express is going to be dictated by what's going on inside you. So if it's fear, right, what do we have inside of us? Is it fear? Is it doubt? Is it worry? Perhaps it's joy or gratitude or some form of appreciation, right? So tune in, because it's tricky if we're talking about money here, because this can really apply to a lot of different areas of our lives, but we're talking about money, and if you have a desire, let's say it is to create, you can make up the number in your mind yourself, but let's just say it's 20 grand by a certain date. Let's just use 20 grand. So if that's your desire, but you have some lack mentality or poverty mindset or stories, beliefs, patterns running, right, that are not your truth, because that's not your truth, it's going to get a little tricky, right? So let's say that you have made a conscious decision, you've made a conscious choice to create more abundance, money, right? You've got this desire, and then an opportunity comes along, and that can be, it's endless what the opportunities could be. It could be a job, it could be an investment, could be a side hustle, could be a program to learn about money. It could be a friend's new company, a neighbor knocks on your door. It can come in any form, right? But the thing is, you've made a conscious decision, you've made a conscious choice, and now you're like aware, okay, I put it out there. And then something comes to you. Now, how will you express? Like, how are you going to view that? What's the lens you're going to see that opportunity through, right? We're all going to see it differently, right? It can be the exact same opportunity, and I could be here and you could be here, and we'll see it differently. Why? Because of the meaning we've given it. It's because the meaning we've given that money opportunity. So, for some person, it could be like, whoa, am I really deserving? That's a lot of money. Whoa, that just seems like, or fear of all of a sudden having like way more money than someone else, right? Or maybe I'm taking from someone, or it might kick up your scarcity around money. So it may be the ideal opportunity. It could be the ideal job. It could be the ideal investment. But if we have the wrong meaning attached to it, based on our programming, which I'm going to talk about next, we won't move forward with it. We'll find reasons to put up the block. We'll find excuses, and we will make those our truth. No, but you don't understand, Janine. You don't understand. And it will become so ingrained as our truth that it's so hard to move it because we haven't looked at our programming, right? Everyone gives these opportunities or whatever it might be in our world coming in that wants to be expressed in and through us, different meaning. And people, I've seen this over and over, people can stay there their whole lives. So, and repeat the money pattern, and then they wonder why they're in the same place, right? So let me know if this is relating to you at all, or you can see the validity here. So the money opportunity or any opportunity comes to us like this. It comes to us in our conscious mind as an image. We think in images. So our subconscious mind is going to tell us how to think about that. It's going to say, that's good, that's bad, that's exciting, that's a scam, that's slimy, right? Or we see value in it, we don't see value in it. Or it's too good to be true. Or maybe there's long hours, maybe there's travel. Someone go, yeah, I love travel. Someone else say, oh, I don't like the travel, right? But our subconscious has been programmed to see the opportunity a certain way. Now, why is because between 0 and 7, there is no conscious mind. It's only a subconscious mind. Why this is important is because the subconscious mind, it can't think, it can't choose, it can't reject, it can only accept. And some of you might know some of this terminology, a paradigm. So our paradigm is a collection of thoughts and beliefs, patterns, things that we hold as truth, things that we've learned through usually our parents. As much as they loved us, they mean well, but our parents mostly could be school teachers, not between 0 and maybe 3 or 4, but after 4 or 5 in the school system, but teachers, parents, friends, siblings, media, what you pick up out and about. So we are programmed, right? So as much as they mean well, not poo-pooing on our parents, they did well, they meant well, right? For most of the part. But most of us didn't get great programming, sadly. Now, the flip side of this is the subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between imagined or real, right? So when we're growing up and we were fed this, we can't reject it. We just take it as whether it's imagined or real. We just take it as truth. The flip side is when you're older, you can go, really? Really? Like, wow, when you take this, you realize that the subconscious doesn't know the difference between imagined or real. Think about the power in that, right? And we've talked about this in different Facebook Lives and in the recent training. So now you can feed the subconscious. You can reprogram the subconscious. So, and I'm going to talk about how to reprogram the subconscious in a minute. But let's talk about your paradigm around money. So what were you told about money? What were you told about? Maybe it was things you heard, what you were told, right? Like, well, everyone's got the oldest one in the book is like, oh, money doesn't grow on trees, or just be happy with what you have and you don't need any more than you've got, or whatever it is. What were you told? Like, take a moment to write it down. It's one thing to think about it. When you write it down, you start taking in a little more, and you're more likely to change this. So write down and share in the comments. It helps me as well. Like, what were some of your programs or what were you told about money? What were you told about money that wasn't positive? Maybe what you were heard, or maybe even experiences. Maybe where you were out and about and you're like picked up a toy and your parents go, put that down. Like, think about that. Like, what was your programming? We can't transform something if we don't know it even exists. What was your reprogram, please? I'll get to that. Money comes and money goes. Just spend it. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. It is interesting hearing different people's story. There's a real common ones, right? Just be happy with what you have. Money doesn't grow on trees. Money's hard. You got to work hard for money. But it is interesting to hear the ones that are sort of more on the outskirts. So it helps me too. So think about what your money programming, what we were told. Be careful with money. Only buy on sale. whoa, I could do a whole Facebook on that. When we think about, oh, only on sale, even if people are waiting for things to be on sale, you're actually sending a message that there's not enough. There's there's a definitely, like, I mean, clearly that's a lack mentality. But even if you and me, like, who doesn't want a sale, right? But it's saying that there's not enough at any sale, but there's always enough, always enough. There's always abundance. So you save 20 bucks. That 20 bucks, you know, if you really understand it, that there's no savings, there's no, right? Yeah, Gwendolyn, yeah. So think about that. And I'd love that to be homework, is really think about what your stories were growing up. The truth, because the truth really is money does come easy. Money is easy. I won't say it comes easy. Money is easy. Your birthright is wealth. We were not born to struggle. We weren't born to experience poverty. Is there poverty? Absolutely. But we were not born on this planet to come in and have that as our big experience in life. Sure, certain people might go there, but to have a life of poverty is not how we were designed or meant to be there. That is the go part. Yeah. So what, easy come, easy go. Yeah. The go part, right? I used to have someone that I used to work with was, the money came easily, but they lost it easily. Right. So she was very plentiful, let's say, very abundant. Money was no issue for the most part, but she had this huge fear that she would be losing it all, because that was her dad was their pattern. So just because this is real in our circumstances doesn't make it our truth, right? So you got to pick it up and actually examine these truths. Like, have you ever stopped to actually examine them and going, that's interesting. And interesting how I'm carrying it on. But just because it was true in my parents' life, and maybe I'm experiencing the same experience, does it really make it true? Right? Here's the deal with the how, right? I just talked about how the subconscious says, this is how you're going to perceive this money opportunity. This is how. Oh, that's a scam. Oh, I don't think I'm deserving, or that seems too good to be true. Whatever we're perceiving, the how comes from the subconscious. It tells us how to think about something. But the how, you guys know this, the how is not our job. Our job is to consciously choose what we want. Choose what you want. Have you actually chosen what you want? Like, do you have a number? Do you have an idea? Do you have an image? That's your job, is to choose. The how is innate in that choosing of the desire. The how is in that. So if you have a desire, it means you have the ability to achieve it. Like, doesn't it give you a whole boatload of freedom to think that you have the ability, as long as you consciously choose to have a desire? The how is already there. So that new how that's innate in your desire will cancel out the how in your the how in your subconscious that normally takes over. When you have that desire, it's innate in the universe, it's innate in the desire, it cancels out the how in our subconscious. Think about how powerful that is. So now we can go, oh, okay, so instead of living on autopilot and letting the subconscious say, this is how you're going to think about it, this is how you're going to think about it, and then just keep repeating the pattern, living your whole life that way, you can go, no, I'm going to consciously choose my desire. I'm going to impress it upon my mind, which I'm going to talk about in a sec. You can override, and you won't let the subconscious keep defaulting. Does that make sense? Yeah, Sarah, that's so important. If you don't mind me sharing, yeah. So I did a 2-day workshop on this 10 years ago, but didn't implement my new thinking, so didn't change. And that's huge. And I'm sure I'll be super blunt. I'm going to be super blunt here. So many of us, we desire the change. And as much as I have compassion and love for everyone, I care more about your transformation than I do your feelings. So if this hurts your feelings, I'm sorry. But we come to so many things, and I was going to talk about this also, the idea of, I hear people say, oh, thanks for the reminder, whether it's my trainings, but I hear that just out and about, right? Personal development. Oh, thanks for the reminder. But reminding is just remembering conceptual ideas that just keep circulating. And I don't care whether it's a reminder. I care about your transformation. It's not and I care about you, obviously, but it's the transformation, what I'm all about. Like, what are you going to do about it? I've just given you boatloads of information. I've shared how the subconscious mind tells you how to think about your money stories, but your money stories don't serve you because we've been programmed. We've been programmed how to think about them, money, about everything. So here's what my goal is to help you go, okay, I'm done with the money story. The money story doesn't serve me. 0 to 7, I've been programmed. So how do I reprogram this? First of all, be aware. What is your money story? Oh, money is really hard. We've got to struggle to pay our bills. Talking about money causes friction. That was one thing. Like, I don't know if I've got a ton of negative money stories, but one thing I noticed, my parents sat down at the end of the month, every month, and my mom was the one who was like, woohoo, like, I've spent money here, money's there. And my dad was like, a little more diligent. He goes, whoa, why'd you spend money on that? And why'd you spend money on that? And she'd always kind of like, at the end of the month, would be kind of like freaking out. So it wasn't horrible fighting or anything, but there was always like friction, right? So that was my thing, right? Yeah, so, and just reading your comments, which I'm finding them very insightful. Thank you. So that's my money story, right? Money is a bit of friction. So, people who've money, they're greedy, they're bad, right? So I just think how, if we have these stories and they are unconscious in our subconscious, and now they're conscious in our subconscious, like, now look at them and now we can reframe them. But it's a practice, it's a discipline. You've got to want it bad enough, right? Most people don't implement because they end up staying put because they're not willing to make the changes. So here's how you can shift. Definitely want to challenge those beliefs, and are they true, right? If not, they're going to run the show. So how you override your subconscious, how you override that, how the subconscious saying, this is how you're going to view that money. Here's how you override it. Here's how you reprogram the subconscious. And I've talked about this before. Before I've talked about, taking the image and the elevated mood, I'm going to give you different verbiage because I like using different verbiage and coming at it from slightly different angles so it lands in different ways. That's why sometimes I like to teach with exercises, and whether it's, I try to get you guys to listen as well as take notes, use experiences to get it in. So here's another way that I want to say it is 2 ways you can override or reprogram your subconscious. One is spaced repetition. Spaced repetition. You may have heard that before. So that means you're going to take that new image. I use the example of $20,000 by a certain date. You give the date, you give the number, right? Maybe it's an annual income. Maybe it's something you want to do so the money shows up, right? Maybe it's so you have more impact or whatever it might be. What is that new image you want to have? Like, maybe for me, it's like, oh, money, like there's no friction with money. There's just money comes easy. Like, what is that image for you? What's the image? And you take that image and you're going to impress it into your mind with spaced repetition, whether that's every morning or every night or every morning and every night, but it's taking that image, impressing it in your mind, taking that image, impressing in your mind, taking that image, impressing in your mind. So that's spaced repetition. So that's the number 1 way you override your subconscious and reprogram it. Number 2 is the emotional piece. You're adding an emotional piece. It's like the motor behind the image, right? The image is great on its own, but you need the fuel. You need the engine to like propel it into more momentum. So spaced repetition and the emotion. Now, what emotion? It's the emotion how you're going to feel when it's done. So if it's $20,000 so you can pay off a car loan, and you're going to feel super free and celebratory and excited. Those are the feelings, that's the emotional piece that you want to bring to it. If it's something where you are going to have more peace and calm and peace of mind and just more relief, then go for those emotions. So you dictate. It's not just any random emotion. It's the emotion that once you've completed that. So how you reprogram your money story is any story. Any story is, don't let your subconscious run the story. It's through spaced repetition and the emotional piece. I'm just going to read this for a sec. For me, it's not an image. I'm great at manifesting most things, just not money. I focus on the feeling I want, then go for it. Lately, I attracted comfortable money, but not the freedom of money. So this is proven science that when we want to create, when we want to manifest, we have the image because we think in images, right? If I say to you right now, I had cereal, I had granola. I didn't have this. I'm just throwing this out there. I had a granola with a whole bunch of milk on it for breakfast. Like, you have the image, right? So that's how our mind thinks. So if we want to reprogram, we want to create that image. And sometimes we don't even know that we're thinking in images. But you're right, Carrie, it is for sure the feeling I want. But when you marry it with the feeling and the image, that's huge. The number one emotion that people will say that the having money gives them is freedom. So it's a very specific emotion. So if you're going, I just not sure what it is, freedom is a really great, like if I came to your house, and I think I've used this example before, if I said, hey, you just won $1 million, woohoo, it would be free. It would be freedom that you would feel. That's a huge one. So yeah, I'll go through all the, my mom always said it comes, oh yeah, we read that. I'll go through the comments before, but I totally appreciate the comments. So that's how you reprogram, that's how you override it. And it's rinse and repeat, because it's, if you're some of the young ones on here and you're in your 20s versus 30s versus 40s, the longer we've been around this planet, the longer we've been playing the program, the more we need to continue to override it. But you know what? This doesn't mean it has to be a long process. It can happen like that. It can happen like that. So put this into use. I hope you found this was helpful, but if you want to change, you want to move away from your current money program, put it into action, stop letting the subconscious run the show, challenge those beliefs, challenge your paradigm, change the meaning you give it, plant that new image, go for the feeling, impress it upon your mind. And if you need be, replay this Facebook Live again, because there's some real nuggets in here, right from, consciously choosing. Like right now, have you consciously chosen your money story, what you want in your life around money, right? Have you chosen? So I can continue this conversation on, but this is really, there's some real nuggets here that you can put into action. So again, implement. Otherwise, we're just reminding ourselves and we're just recycling the conscious, or not the conscious, but the conceptual idea of it. Implement. So I hope you found this helpful. And if you are finding this helpful, if you liking these, I know that a lot of you have been sharing, please, I totally am grateful for those that are spreading the love and sharing this with other women. You can just go to the invite button and click, but pop them a message, because we don't let, my team doesn't let anyone in that hasn't accepted it. Who wants to be in a group but they haven't accepted, right? They're going, what's this all about? So just pop them a message also. But I totally appreciate that. And some of you have popped me messages asking me if I do private coaching. I know I haven't really talked about that at all, but yes, I do. However, my group programs take up the majority of my time. And so I only have a few spots. So right now I've only got 2 spots for coaching. If that's of interest, one of the programs or packages is just around 3 months, 6 calls, and 2 calls a month. Happy to chat. But my gift when we're together is looking at your blind spots. That's my thing, is I can see blind spots easily. So imagine relief and freedom. Yeah, those are big ones. One way for me is to have that image on the computer. Yeah, so Mina, having your image on your computer screen, I do that as well. I don't have one right now, but I've done that in the past. There's so many different ways. If you want to add them in the chat, the different ways you have your image. I mean, ultimately you want to have it impressed on your mind, but you can have it, like, I think Sarah, you even said you had it on your rear view mirror, but whether it's in your bathroom mirror, on your Facebook, could have on your Facebook, your computer screen, your phone, around the house, your fridge, whatever it might be, right? You can put it everywhere that keeps reminding you. So then your spaced repetition is even closer together than rather, every morning or every night or morning, night, or once a week. Hopefully it's not once a week, but spaced repetition, the more often, the better, the quicker you reprogram. So I hope this was helpful. Have a fantastic day. If you need be, go back and listen to this, write down those nuggets and put it into action. Mwah. Okay. Love you guys. Have a great day. Bye.